Now we're going to take how we can convert between fractions and percentages. Just for your information, any percentage in the world as a fraction is that number over 100. What? So you mean that 35% is just a 35 over 100? Exactly. 35% is just a 35 over 100, and 20% is 20 over 100? Exactly. 20% is 20 over 100. And what about the last question? Well, what makes this so special? 87% is, of course, 87 over 100 as a fraction. All right, great. What about 50%? Well, 50%, all of us just know that it's a half. 50% is the half. So you can just write it's 1 over 2, which would be perfect. Or if someone just wrote 50 over 100, please try to choose the simpler, which is the simplest form. 1 over 2 is going to be better. 50 over 100 is not wrong, but 1 over 2 is much better. Here, the same thing exactly with 25%. You just need to memorize them, guys. 50% is 1 over 2, which is a half. 25% is just a quarter, which is 1 over 4, or it's just 25 over 100. 75%, you also need to memorize this, which is 3/4, which is the same as 75 over 100. All right, great. That's very easy. Converting from percentages into fractions is a piece of cake. But what about converting from fractions to percentages? Well, a big part of it is actually a piece of cake, and another part just requires some small steps. If any fraction has a denominator of 100, just write the numerator as a percentage. What? Is it that easy? Could you please, mister, just repeat this again to make sure that it's just that easy? All right, no problem. 5 over 100. If you have any numerator over 100 as a percentage, it's just that numerator as a percent. So 5 over 100 is just a 5%. And 54 over 100 is just exactly what? Exactly 54%, because it's over 100. 94 over 100 is just the same. 94 over 100 is just 94%. All right, that's very easy. It's exactly as easy as converting from percentages into fractions, but this is not everything. So what else is there? Well, if you have here 4 over 8. Oh, 4 over 8? How can I do this? Well, didn't you notice that 4 over 8 is just a half? Oh yeah, 4 is the half of the 8. So it's just a half. 4 over 8 is a half. Exactly the same as 5 over 10, which is a half. Exactly the same as 7 over 14, which is a half. 10 over 20, which is a half. And what is a half as a percentage? Exactly, just 50%. What about 6 over 10 as a percentage? Well, here we need the denominator to be 100. So how can I make the denominator 100 to convert it into a percentage? So here we're going to do it into 2 steps. Make the denominator 100, and then it's going to be very easy to make it as a percentage. All right, I'm going to make the denominator 100 by multiplying it by 10 multiplied by what is 100? Exactly, that should be very easy, and you should know it because it's in the 10 times table. It's very easy. 10 multiplied by 10 gives you 100. Good. Then what I've done to the denominator must be done to the numerator. So 6 multiplied by 10 will give you just 60. So it's 60 over 100. Oh, what's 60 over 100 as a percentage? Oh, now it's the same like this. We said 5 over 100 is 5%. 54 over 100 is 54%. 94 over 100 is 94%. So 60 over 100 is just 60%. It's as easy, but we needed one more step. 2 over 5 is what as a percentage? Well, don't forget that we need to make the denominator 100 to be able to convert it into percentage. So 5 we will need to multiply it by 20, and 2 is also going to be multiplied by the same thing that you've done to the denominator must happen to the numerator. So it's 2 multiplied by 20. 2 multiplied by 20 is 40 over 100. Now it's very easy to become a percentage, which is just 40%. All right, the last question that we have over here, sorry, it's not really the last. What is 8 over 8 as a percentage? Well, 8 over 8 is just a 1, and 11 over 11 is just also a 1, and 7 over 7 is just also a 1. It's just, if I say I have 7 apples and 7 of them are red apples, it just means that 100% of the apples is just red. The same thing if I have 11 apples and I say that 11 of those 11 apples are red, then 100% of them are red. The same thing exactly here with 8. Out of those 8 apples, it just means 100% of the apples. 3/4, which is the last question, and literally it is the last question. 3 over 4, which is 3/4, is what as a percentage? If you remember what we did over there, you needed to memorize that 75% as a percentage is just 3/4. 3/4 is 75%. So here, 3/4 is just 75%. You need to know it exactly, like 50% is 1 over 2, which is a half. 50% is a half. 25% is a quarter. 75% is 3/4. You need to memorize these three and know them exactly like your name. All right, but if someone can't remember, you just need to make the 4 100. And how can I make the 4 100? By multiplying it by 25. Then I need to multiply also the numerator by 25. Then 3 multiplied by 25 is just 75 over 100, which gives us 75%. So if you just know it from the beginning that 3 over 4, which is 3/4, is 75%, just try the answer and save your time. Now is converting between improper fractions and mixed numbers. Sorry, this is a mistake. It's mixed numbers. Okay. 3 over 5 is a proper fraction. We just need to know the difference between proper, improper, and mixed numbers. A proper fraction, the numerator is smaller than the denominators, like 3 over 5, 2 over 5, like 7 over 10. Any fraction that has a numerator that is smaller than the denominator is called a proper fraction, which is just a normal fraction, which is just a fraction. 5 over 3 here, we just call this a top-heavy fraction. The numerator is heavier. The number that is at the top here is bigger than the denominator. So 5 over 3 is what we call an improper fraction. 5 over 3 is an improper fraction. All right. And when we have a fraction, which is a proper fraction, it's just a normal fraction, a proper fraction, not improper, a proper fraction with a whole number in front of it, that's what we call a mixed number. So here, 1 3/5 is what we call a mixed number. It's one whole and part of a whole. All right. After knowing their names, we just need to learn right now how to convert the following improper fractions into mixed numbers. You might find 9 over 4 written this way, or just written as a normal fraction, like what you always see. So 9 over 4 is just the same as this, and the same as 9 divided by 4. Well, if you find 9 divided by 4 and they ask you to write it as a mixed number, don't get confused. Don't say, what? This is so weird. 9 divided by 4 is what as a mixed number? Yeah, it's just exactly the same as 9 over 4. So what we need to do, the denominator stays the same. Don't change the denominator. Never change the denominator when you convert between improper fractions and mixed numbers. The denominator always stays the same. It's just a 4. Great. Then what's next? What's the next step? We still need 2 more numbers. So the mixed number consists of 3 parts. The numerator, the denominator, and the whole number. Mister, you've just given me the denominator that it's always there for. Yeah, exactly the same thing here. 16 over 9 or 16 divided by 9, the denominator is going to be the same. 9 stays there the same. And here 21 over 5, the denominator stays the same. 5 stays the same. Good, mister, you still haven't told me how to find the whole number and the numerator. No problem at all. You don't need to worry about this. To find the whole number and the numerator, you need to divide 9 by 4. What is 9 divided by 4? 9 divided by 4? Well, it's not there in the 4 times table. I can't do 9 divided by 4. Yes, you can actually, but it's not there in the 4 times table. So we just need to go a little bit down to find the closest number to 9 in the 4 times table, which is what? With 9, I'm going to try to go down. 8, yes, 8 is there in the 4 times table, so it's 8 divided by 4. What is 8 divided by 4? It's just 2. Yes, great. 2 is going to be your whole number. Whoa, all right. So I just need to divide 9 by 4, which gives me 2, but remainder what? You said it's 8, then I need one more to reach the 9. That's it. You put it there as the numerator. If the last part here confuses you and you don't know where to get the 1 from, just multiply the 4 by the 2 is what? 8. 8, how many more do I need to reach 9? You need one more, just right there. If you didn't get it from the first question, focus. The second question is here. 16 divided by 9, or just 16 over 9, needs to be turned into a mixed number. As we agreed, the denominator stays the same, doesn't change at all. What about the whole number and the numerator, Mr. Ahmed? The whole number here, we need to find it by dividing 16 by 9. What is 16 divided by 9? 16 divided by 9, I can find 16 in the 9 times table. No problem at all. Just go down to find the closest number to 16 in the 9 times table. The closest number is to 16 in the 9 times table. I need to go down? Yes. All right. 15, no way. 14, 13, 12. Well, mister, it's 9. 9 is the closest number to 16 in the 9 times table when I go down. All right. So it's 9 divided by 9. That's it? Yeah. Which is what? Which is 1. Oh, mister, but the closest number to 16 is 18, actually. 18 divided by 9 is 2. Well, the closest number to 16 is 18, you're right, but we agreed that you have to go down, not to go up. So you go down below 16 until you find the closest number to 16 in the 9 times table, which is just 9 divided by 9 is 1. All right, okay, now I got it. All right, what about the numerator here? The numerator, how can we find the numerator? Just multiply 9 by 1 is what? 9. And how many more do I need to add to 9 to give me 16? Well, 9 times 9, 1 is 9, plus just 7 gives me 16. I need 7 more to give me 16. So just 7. All right, the last question over here in this section, 21 divided by 5 or 21 over 5. How can we find it? Well, 21 divided by 5, I need to go down again. Yes, exactly, you need to go down because 21 is not there in the 5 times table. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. Very good. So 4 is your whole number. And don't forget, the denominator didn't change. All right, what about the numerator? The numerator, 5 multiplied by 4 is 20. How many more do I need for the 20 to become 21? I just need one more. Great, that's it. So this is how we convert from improper fractions into mixed numbers. Now let's have a look at the opposite. What if I have a mixed number and I need to convert it into an improper fraction? It's even easier, actually. Like here, 1 3/5. If I want to change 1 3/5 into an improper fraction, just to multiply the denominator by the whole number. So 5 multiplied by 1 is just 5. And then you add to it 3, which gives you 8. So the answer here becomes 8 over, the denominator doesn't change as we agreed, 8 over 5. Again, all what it is that I multiplied the denominator by the whole number, which is just a 5 multiplied by 1 is 5, and I added after that a 3, gave us 8 over 5. Okay. Here, what about 3 and 4/7? Okay, to do this, we need to multiply the denominator by the whole number, which is 3. So 7 multiplied by 3 is 21, plus 4 is 25. This is the numerator. The denominator doesn't change. All right. So here, what about the last fraction here? They're just giving you actually the denominator that it doesn't change, but they didn't help that much because we already know that the denominator is not going to change. They didn't help that much. All the work is with the numerator, but no problem. We will be able to do it. 8 multiplied by 6 is 48. You add to it 6, it becomes 54, and here it is. Okay, here in the last line, they're trying to confuse you actually, but we just know from up there that 9 divided by 4 is the same as 9 over 4. So the same thing exactly. What divided by 7 gives you this mixed number? If you just see it like this in the exam, you might feel like, what? I didn't take this. I didn't take how to do this. Well, it's exactly the same. What divided by 7 is 4 and 5/7 is the same exact like what? Oh, sorry. Let's just remove this. Is the same exactly as what? What over 7 is 4 and 5/7. You understand what I'm talking about here? What over 7, like this question exactly. What over 8 is 6 and 6/8. So here, what over 7 is 4 and 5 over 7. Okay, no problem. 7 multiplied by 4 is 28. 28 plus 5 is 32 over 7. So 32 divided by 7 gives you this. The same thing exactly here. So let's just here reveal the answer. 33. What did it do? What did it say? Oh, yeah. 7 times 4 is 28 plus 5 is 33. Sorry, I can't even remember what I said, whether I said 32 or 33. Now, what divided by 2 is 4.5. Here, you just need to do the same thing. It means what over 2 is 4.5. Well, let's convert this into an improper fraction then. 2 multiplied by 4 is 8, and then you add to it 1 gives you 9. 9 over 2, which is the same as 9 divided by 2. The last question here, 3 and 3/4. 4 multiplied by 3 is 12. You add to it 3, it gives you 15, divided by 4, which is just 15, over 4.